Today we've got a Disney classic making its 4K debut with a brand new remaster. That is Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Let's talk about it. So Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was just painstakingly restored by the team at Disney right after their Cinderella restoration, or probably in the midst of all of that. A lot of the same team members were working on Snow White and taking this from what was a pretty good Blu-ray release, but maybe not the most faithful, and bringing it to 4K with truly the most faithful representation of what this film truly should look like that I've ever seen on disc. Now, we could talk about the movie, but everybody knows the story of Snow White, how iconic this is in Disney's history, much like Cinderella, probably even more iconic than Cinderella for Disney specifically. This was Disney's first full-length animated feature. It's what launched Disney animation into the stratosphere, and it's just a super important part of film animation entertainment history. Now here on 4K, we've got that brand new restoration. We don't have Dolby Vision, which is typical for Disney discs, but we do have HDR color grading with HDR10. The picture here is simply outstanding. Much like Cinderella, I think they've fixed some past wrongdoings. I don't think this one was done as dirty as Cinderella was on some past Blu-ray releases, with like the amount of digital noise reduction and smoothing and the change in color. I don't think Snow White was done as dirty, but it's still a massively significant upgrade that I'm sure a lot of people at the Disney team are very proud of and should be very proud of. Now, in some instances, if you're used to watching this on DVD and Blu-ray, this is going to be a little bit of a transformative experience, but I trust that the people at Disney Animation, they're looking at those original drawings and film cells and whatever elements they have, right? And they're trying to most accurately replicate what this would have looked like as a pristine print back in 1937. And I do think that's what they've done here. I mean, as far as I can see, this is the way the film should be viewed. Like, comparing it to Blu-rays, the Blu-ray was a little bit washed out, which I think tend to be that was kind of a weird thing with some of the Blu-ray Disney animated titles, was they could be like a little washed out, and this is that vibrancy comes back with HDR. There's a lot of really stunning moments. Some of it is still a little on like the cooler, washed out side, I think, simply just because source, time period, it is what it is with the movie of this age. But I really like what they did here. It's super sharp. It retains that natural, like, drawing look and feel. It's got that animated feel that Cinderella had on 4K as well, where past releases, they almost tried to make it look too digital, too smooth. Like, these were hand-drawn animated movies, and there are people out there who know way more about that stuff than I do, but I know what a hand-drawn animated movie should look like because I watched Cinderella, and I know that's what this should look like versus what it has. And that's what they've done with Snow White, is really they've made it what it should be versus what it has been, and they've really corrected some of the minor wrongdoings on past releases and just presented an absolutely stunning 4K transfer. Now, on the audio side of things, the purists here who are going to be very happy with the video quality, you may have one minor gripe with the audio. They don't include the mono track, which really is what you'd expect from this movie. It's always had a mono track. So no mono, you get DTS HD Master Audio 5.1, and that's your only option. I do like when movies like this include the mono option for purists. They did not here. You're forced to 5.1, and that's fine. Like, it sounds good. I'm fine with it because as much as I love a mono track on some of the older movies, I'm not like a huge stickler for that stuff. Maybe not for Snow White. It might bother me for other movies that I'm a little closer to. But if you are that purist here, just note that the mono track is missing. The 5.1 is not bad. It's solid. It's, definitely an up mix from a mono. Like, it works. It's still pretty front heavy, but I would have liked to see them include that. I think a lot of collectors would have as well. Minor gripe though, because it still sounds pretty damn good. Now for packaging, I've got the standard slipcover edition here. We got Ultimate Collector's Edition in gold on the bottom. We got a little Disney 100 here. Sticker, this comes off. For special features, these are on the Blu-ray. You've got In Walt's Words, Walt Disney discussing the iconic story. You've got the film's influence in pop culture, iconography. You've got designing Disney's first princesses from Disney Animation, which talks about how Snow White's design influenced other characters. The fairest facts of them all, 7 secrets about Snow White from Disney Channel star Sophia Carson. I don't know who that is. And an alternate sequence where the prince meets Snow White in a storyboard. There's a few more smaller things. So overall, considering the film's age and its importance in animation history and the significant upgrade here on the visual side, specifically with HDR and a brand new 4K remaster, this one's well worth upgrading, probably for the last time, right? This is probably the last time you buy Snow White on a physical media format. And that, I don't know if that's shocking to some people. Like, this is the peak, you know. Do I see Disney spending money to remaster this again, release it on a different physical media format? I don't know. This is probably the last time to own this on physical media. So it's your final upgrade. It's well worth it. If you're a Disney fan, it's a must-have. If you're a casual fan, I think it's still worth upgrading your Blu-ray. You know, it is a much better experience, and I do like to support, especially with a place like Disney, which doesn't always do a bunch of restorations of their catalog stuff and put out physical releases for them. I like to support those where I can, and so they did a good job. They got us a decent physical media release. It looks good. Support it. That's what I would say. So I'm very happy with the upgrade here, and I think you guys will be too. Now, if you want to pick this one up, you can use the link in my description. That'll help support my channel, so I appreciate that. But the standard edition should be pretty widely available no matter where you look, except for Best Buy in 2024 because they're shutting things down. But you should be able to get it anywhere else. Widely available. Amazon will be where I send you to, but you can get it at local stores. Lots of retailers have this one. It's going to be a pretty popular release, I think, so it should be easy to get your hands on. Thanks for watching this review. If you have any more comments on the history, on the restoration, I'd love to hear. You know, I just kind of popped it in and watched it. I didn't dive deep on the restoration. I did back when this was first announced, and I have some context, but I know there are much bigger Disney animation fans out there who could probably speak to the quality and the work that was done here. That would actually be an interesting podcast episode for me to learn more about it. But if you know that information, drop it in the comments. But I do think it's a well-worthy upgrade. Great release by Disney, and certainly the best Snow White has ever looked, and probably the best that it will ever look, because this is peak physical quality here for this film. Subscribe to the channel here if you want more physical media reviews, videos, collection updates. Just want to talk about movies, this is the place to do it. So subscribe to the YouTube channel, and also make sure you follow me on social media. All those links are in the description, as well as right here in the QR code, which you can scan with your phone if you're watching on a TV. But thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, stay healthy out there, and I'll talk to you all soon.